Have you been abused, neglected, experienced ACEs, survived trauma, or lived with dysfunctional household? Before beginning today's lesson, I want to give you a quick rundown of my trauma history so you have a better understanding of the journey I have been on from trauma to healing and hope. During the first 22 years of my life, I experienced tremendous trauma, but now live a life filled with tranquility and joy. I will fill these lessons with the stories of that journey. When I was 4 years old, an intoxicated parent attempted to drown myself and my 1-year-old sister. When I was 5, I was sexually molested for the first time by a 16-year-old neighbor. When I was 9, I was sexually molested by a 19-year-old neighbor when my mom sent me for a can of soup. When I was 10, I was repeatedly molested by my choir director. When I was 14, I was sexually accosted by a religious education director in the rectory where I worked in the evenings for the priests. When I was 16, I lost my virginity to date rape. When I was 16, later that year, I was attacked by a gang of youth downtown in Cincinnati. An officer in charge of that investigation asked my parents to take me to dinner when I was 17, after the trials were over, to celebrate the convictions. My parents allowed him to do so. However, he did not take me to dinner. He took me back to his apartment where he attempted to rape. When I was 21, I was involved in a bank robbery where a gun was held to my head and my coworker was stabbed 3 times with a hunting knife. Later that same year, 3 months later, the assailants would return to our main office where I had just moved, only this time the assailant who had held the gun to my head would pull the trigger and murder my coworker. My sister was a teller, 19 years old at the time. She had just asked to go on break, and the girl that was murdered was the one who had taken her place on the teller line. I had run from the bank and hiding behind row houses behind the plaza where the bank was, and came to face to face with an armed assailant who pointed his Luger at me. However, the gun misfired, and my life was yet again spared. Also, during the first 10 years of my life, my dad physically abused my sister and myself until he received counseling and then apologized for hitting us and told us he would never hit us again. My mother was a severe alcoholic, still is to this day at 83 years old. And my dad struggled to maintain a job, so therefore we struggled with keeping food in the house at times, and with financial issues and struggles. Now for the happy and hope part. Today's lesson is going to be about releasing. And this was actually a lesson I had learned from someone who advised me to write release notes to those who have hurt me and then burn them. And so I shifted it a little bit and just started releasing all kinds of stuff in my life. And I had these cute little owl cards that I wrote on, and now I write on just Post-it notes or whatever I can find. And I write at the top, I release. And then from there, I just listen to what my soul, what my heart is telling me, that gut reaction of what I need to release for the day. Whether it's I release positive energy and joy into the world today, or I release my anger at someone that may have upset me. I release sadness. I release whatever it is that you feel compelled to release and want to write down. It's easy and simplistic, but yet so very powerful, and really truly has had a profound effect on my life, is I allow myself the opportunity. One, I think it teaches the lesson to just listen. Just listen to what comes to the surface immediately. What is stirring in your heart? What is coming forth from your soul? And so the writing part of it is also very cathartic and very healing, because it allows you the opportunity to then express it. And sometimes I would just write, I release, and one simple word, and maybe a little bit more. Other times I would write for quite a long time and have to flip the little card over and write more, and then fill out another one and keep writing. So allow yourself to just let it flow out of you, whatever it is that you feel the need to release. So hope you enjoyed the second lesson on our healing journey. What do you feel moved to release? What is stirring when you think about releasing? If you feel as if you would like to share with us, please do so in the comments below, or share on any of our social media pages for the Healing Place podcast. All right. Thanks so much. And as I say in the podcast, until next time, remember, be gentle with yourself.